Oh. Dun, 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 dun. InShalla and Ashe. Hang on, I gotta move my little. There I am. Blessings to you, my energetic beings. And holla, welcome back to today's daily snippet. I am your host. I am a practicing holistic medium and subtle energetic surgeon. My intention is to use the power of the indigenous technologies, our original blueprint, to navigate our Souls Harmonic through the elementals, the realm of the elementals, the elemental highway, out into the imaginal realms, the subtle energies, elements, and elemental beings, and so much more. With offerings, rituals, and prescriptions to really add to the juice of your own personal container. But my goal is truly to merge the wisdom of these indigenous technologies with the subtle realms, the etheric highway, to really assisting you into your prime directive, your inner genius, just reintroducing you to and through the magical being that I believe resides within each and every one of us. And I call myself a holistic medium. My name is Tonya Dee, and welcome to my virtual medicine room. And for those of you that recently joined me for the, whoopsie, wrong buttons. So exciting. The energetic meditation, the cleanse, an energetic sweep to recalibrate. It was a recalibration of your morphogenetic field and so much more. Just optimizing your body, matter to energy, energy to matter. So I want to give a special shout out and thank you for all of those that participated and joined in. It was a total otherworldly download that was presented to me almost a week ago. Grateful for that as well. I mean, I get so much sometimes from the other world. It really is a process. Sometimes I feel like my internal hard drive is like frazzled. But with that, I also have another announcement to make. Rising of the Origins is coming soon to a virtual room near you. I will have the link in the show notes soon, like sometime this week. And if you feel called to share, it's an online as well. It's a virtual medicine container. Anything otherworldly happening in your village. I would love that. But I mean, how majestic was that super new moon eclipse for you? So as we went through, or we're going through the season of Taurus, and then we get another bounty on the 16th with Scorpio, it's like, have you been noticing the ways that you are, or how have you even started, expanded to grow? Like I had a funny yesterday, well, sort of a funny. It is a funny now, of course. But I had my new moon meditation book outside. It's my intention. It's kind of what I jot down things. And I created a saucy little fire Saturday. And so yesterday it rains here. And so all my things that I had outside, they all got rained on because I didn't realize the weather was going to shift as usual per Utah. So I thought, oh, the water's coming from the heavens to sprout. My new moon wishes, my intentions to grow, whatever, right? But really, I am on the heart's path of connection. I mean, I believe you will start seeing this shift virtually for myself and possibly for you over the next 6 weeks. And with all the things, you know, to access the realms, our Souls Harmonic, our belief channel, we have to go through our thought processor to get there. So it's removing all these old thoughts, the neggies, and knowing that our thoughts they're freshies because we're climbing the cosmic ladder in Gemini. Mercury is. So until the reversal mode next week, I believe, Mercury goes retrograde, it really is time to nourish and nurture the uncomfortable, the unfamiliar, and go with the queen of your chalice. Go with what your queen authentically believes. So knowing that anything is possible, there are endless streams out there. Definitely right. And also, just to sauce it up, being that we just started the season of May, the magic of the month is also Change Your Stars. And Change Your Stars is an offer in my online digital library of how to navigate your intuitive gifts to live your life purpose. And it does not, I repeat, it does not matter what age you are. I mean, I have seen some pretty amazing women, bodybuilders, in their earth ages of 75 and above. So it's possible. Anything is possible. So with that, if you haven't already, please do be kind and subscribe to my YouTube channel at Tonya Dee. Hit the bell button so you too are notified. And also, if you don't mind, liking the videos or sharing and commenting, so that algorithm on YouTube will echo me out and suggest me to other like-minded musers out in the galactic universe, along with other social channels like Instagram and TikTok and my podcast, Musing with Tonya Dee. And also, a little tidbit, if you wish to dive deeper, head on over to my Musing corridor where I have all these offerings to guide you. And again, change your stars. It's begun the countdown already. So with that frequency of today, the chalice brought to the round table, the chamber of our beliefs, what does our heart believe about our day-to-day? Do we love it? Do we trust it? And what do we believe? We have the ability to manifest when our heart's in alignment with our belief channel as well. So we're just keeping these thread lines kind of flowing, I meant to say, which is hilarious. And so with that, of course, I went with the saucy little beings of the Fae, the messages from the Fae. But this is Epona's wild daughter, card 54. You can see that in the corner. So this is where our thought processors and become elevated. They're elevating our innovations. So it's bringing more love to our chalice and more love again to our chalice. And in doing so, then the mind becomes mindful and the innovation then becomes manifest. So yeah, I'm using right along. So she's part of the Fairy Challengers, which I love. And they bring us face to face with our fears, our denials, the inner traumas, delusions, confusions, insecurities, even our day-to-day misbehavings. But these are the Fae who, metaphorically speaking, they'll stick a stone in front of us to stub our toe to see if we're paying attention to where we're going. But they really just are testing our alertness, our awareness, our knowledge, our inner wisdom, insight, even our dedication to our own personal growth. So without them, they feel that we as humans may become a little lazy or very lazy. However, Epona's wild daughter, she is the daughter of our inner shadows. Nightmares, depression, madness, and growth. So it's like in the bleakest, darkest part of the night. This is Dorcha, and she comes in, and she's wearing that fairy crown of stars. She's kneeling, if you could tell, she's kneeling on an ancient owl who has the hidden wisdom of the night. Facing into the past, that's what she's doing, looking into the past with this clear, unflinching gaze as she's holding us. So we are held immobile. We're inwardly focused by her comforting, but it's this unwavering light-filled hands, kind of like Tinkerbell, I guess. But she's asking us riddles that often seem impossible to answer at first. And yet, she's going to not let us go until we find those solutions within ourselves. So she literally is one of the greatest teachers of the Fae. And her method of teaching creates questions look literally like child's play. So we need to expect this of Dorcha because her lessons are about the shadow sides of ourselves, the things we fear, those insecurities, the self-doubts, and even those denials. So she's actually a therapist or a practitioner of tough love. She is like the tough love therapist. Dorcha really is the wild daughter of Epona, the lady of the horse and the moon, and she takes us to the dark, the hidden sides of ourselves, into healing and also fulfillment. So from possibly temporary madness of rage, the unexpected rage, right? Even premenstrual tension or great stress. And she takes us deeper and deeper and longer into the psychosis. So she's driving us on our journey through those internal hells, I guess. Saturn returns is kind of what she feels like to me. But when we are on our complete journey, that's when we're transfigured, we're transformed, and we're transcending our old selves like shedding skin. And we can never be frightened by the darkness ever again, whether it's our own or that of another. But until that journey is fulfilled, it's complete, we kind of exist in a state of vulnerability, which is where most of us are most of the time, really. So notice, if you will, please, that it is she and not her more gentle sister, Lestit, which I've pulled her before, who actually wears this crown of stars. So it's a mark of service, it's compassion, it's ancient great wisdom. And Dorcha's element is the moonlight. It's the night sky. It's the fifth element. It's the galaxy, I guess. So this is where she tempers and tests the spirit. But it's through her teachings where our inner conflict, those struggles become, they become resolved. They then become our greatest strengths. So she is a sphinx whose riddles must be tested, or otherwise they need to be destroyed by our own internal complex. So she's reminding us that we cannot go forward until we have faced something buried deep within us that is actually holding us back. So her presence today is telling us that finding and working through this, it's actually a task of some urgency. So I had some urgency yesterday, so maybe I pulled her in. I'm not so sure. However, we can expect some help, and this from other people or from the Fae, from our dreams. We need to be open to the other world, but we also must be open to those difficult questions and receiving those answers, and also be ready to face things about ourselves that are not as we would wish or hope for them to be. So she's urging us to heal those unresolved issues about who we really are, what we truly want to be. So this is part of that required course of Self-Transformation 101, if you will, that we all enrolled in here on planet Earth when we arrived. So the answer to the riddles often come in those sudden like bursts of enlightenment or insight. It's kind of like a Zen koan solution where the question is used to provoke great doubt in our progress, where we're like challenging the thoughts. So we may watch a leaf fall or catch a glimpse of a tiny little sliver of the new moon in the sky suddenly and be hit literally by the answer. Intuitive, right? But before that happens, we usually work long and hard upon the question. We're searching and we're digging for the answers. And the realization, when we really have it, is going to be transformative. It will be no longer we're no longer going to be the people that we once were. So it's almost like, if you don't like this interpretation, well, possibly, I've been telling you all along that the way you and I and everybody else, we all receive messages in a variety of ways from the Fae. Yours may be different from mine, but go ahead and ask little Dorcha here what message she has for you. And don't be surprised if her answer is literally another question or a riddle. So she and I both wish you well in solving it with all of our hearts. She totally is a little blessing being. I think challenges always give us our inner strength, really. It brings it out to the light, right? But following Dorcha, we have Ecstasies, which is card number 2, which is our emotional field. Seriously, it's the entire energetic, entire field. Subtle and more of our emotions, protecting our feelings. But she's part of the realms of the singers, which I love. These are the great ones. Their wings span the multiverse and all dimensions and galaxies. But they're these singers, they're the underlying song of the universe to the Fae, to us and to the great ones, the ascended masters and whatnot. These are the ones that show us, all of us, human and little people, the little beings seen and unseen, what we have the potential of ultimately becoming. So they assist us to move and be in the flow of that direction. And they also comfort us when we fall off our path. They're constantly with us. Their energy, compassion, it's always available. All we have to do is ask. And in doing so, we open ourselves up through prayer, meditation, or love to these singers and allow their essence to literally flow through us. But Ecstasies, it's like, wow, this is ecstasy, it's joy, it's rapture, it's the motivation. Ecstasies is the song. It's the energy and the power that feels unity, the world, the galaxy, actually. And there's nothing else but this song. No voice to sing it, no ears to hear it, just the infinite and the eternal song. So it's the energy of which completely filled eternity and infinity. Reminds me of Buzz Lightyear in a way. But it's this rhapsodic song of bliss, and it powers the cosmos. It's this energetic field of power, and it gives order, it gives harmony. It's this song that holds the atoms together, the stars in their places, the galaxies where they're meant to be, and it keeps our hearts beating. It's the love, it's the trust. that flows through them. So in unity, there is nothing but the song, the outpouring of undifferentiated energy, this power felt in the mystical experience, the void, so often spoke of in spiritual literature. It's not empty. It's very full. It is so full that there is no space between one singing and the next. And there's nowhere to stand outside of unity and look at it, just marveling at the level of this world's reality and the realm of the Fae. So we have the sensory illusion that you and I are separate, maybe through a screen, that we're not directly connected, that what happens when a finger is lifted on a small planet circling the farthest star in the most distant galaxy, Star Wars, does not affect us. But we need this illusion because at the stage of our evolution, we're not ready to be aware of the full song in more than just short bursts, if even that. So think of solar flares. So the singers are capable of this, but we are not. At least we're not yet able to do this, but maybe we are. So it may take a while for us to really get there, but that's kind of where we're heading, knowingly or unknowingly. So our ears are literally too small to hear the song. Our souls are way too big. They are big enough. That's the only thing that's big enough. So the song rings through everything. It's the wind in the trees. It's the radiance of the sky and the stars. It's the heartbeat of the little beings like a mouse or a little critter outside. It's the rumble in our digestive system, in our bodies. It's the quiet gurgle of even a plant's capillaries, if you were to think about it and muse about it. I just had my tree trimmed, so I'm kind of thinking about the limbs. Ugh. It's also the deep, unheard hum of the earth, Mother Earth. Even scientists, they've discovered this unheard part of the earth song, which is very deep, it's very slow, and it's very low. So some of them think it may be caused by changing atmospheric pressure, like a gentle, slow patting of a drum. But of course, changes in the atmosphere come primarily from those changes in the solar winds. So in essence, we see the Earth Mother getting kind of gently patted or caressed, if you will, by Father Sun. So she's purring and she's humming in response, as do we, the children of the planet, right? So everything is linked. Everything is a part of this one song, the Ekstasis. So being that Ekstasis is otherworldly, we may be feeling sorrowful, maybe grieving. We're remembering that those feelings too are also part of the great song. It's the duality. So they're a part of love. Don't try to block them. Don't try to deny them. Really allow them to flow. So if your song is mournful, sing it that way. It's like the bards. I'm thinking of the bards. It's probably the Witcher. The bard in the Witcher singing the song. Just allowing the energy to move. Let it run freely until it changes. So it's important to allow ourselves to feel what we feel without denial or blocking so that we can process those feelings naturally until they transform within us. Only by finding creative expression by each feeling and for each feeling, that's when we complete the process and we move beyond them, we validate them. So if life isn't going as you wish, live it, acknowledge it, and express it. Emotions need to be expressed and validated. And creatively, and appropriately, just go through it and go beyond it. Find the creative balance between wallowing in the emotions and denying them. So we can accept and really gradually transform our feelings. So they are really saying this too shall pass. And it really is true about everything, all our joys, all our sorrows. So kind of just live it, let it pass, and see what tomorrow can actually bring new life on a deeper and richer level for everything that we've actually passed on through, right? So the final card is, there I am, sorry. Ding, ding, ding. Sometimes there's so much stuff happening here. But this final message is Indi. He's card 63. I love little Indi. But this is opening up to our beliefs and then taking that action or receiving an otherworldly belief, a message, and it's coming in. But Indi is also part of the fairy challengers, but he's indecision. He's wishy-washy, commitment, decision-making. So if you don't get him on the wish, you might catch him on the wash, but probably not. Because by the time we think we've got this commitment from him, he's going to swing the other way again. Poor little guy. He really can't decide. This is being indecisive, right? So between this and that or that and this. So if he had just more information, if he had just some kind of guarantee about an outcome, if only he could be certain about things. Well, he can't. That isn't really how life is, right? But he's sitting on our shoulders, literally, as we wobble around trying to make a decision. Just as we think we've about got it, he's going to mutter, but what if? Where we question everything. He lives on my shoulder, I swear. And very likely, you may dissolve back into confusion again. So decisions really make him nervous because they involve commitment. They go hand in hand, decision and commitment. This is like Saturn energy, by the way. And Indi, sometimes he seems to be frightened of the commitment. It's like, what if he makes the wrong decision and he runs his or somebody else's life? He just ruins it. What if he makes no decision and he's just dithering in space forever, and that causes ruin? So I really feel for him, this little character, for he's actually the only one in the fairy challenger realm who doesn't know what he should be doing. He doesn't really know. So that is, he knows he should be making our decisions cleanly, clearly, at the appropriate times. But he has some ideas about how he might easily kind of go about that. But he is himself, he's not a great decision maker. So sometimes he's going to whisper, almost cheerfully even, that you're going to drive him mad if you don't make up your mind. So there are a variety of reasons why we hesitate when decision and action are really appropriate. However, most of them kind of boil down to fear of making a mistake, fear of harming others, fear of losing something of value to us, fear of harming others, responsibility, or fear that we are simply not able to make a proper decision. But fear is false evidence affecting our reality. Fear, right? So we need to look honestly at our insecurities, recognizing them for what they truly are. Our insecurities are not reality, right? Then we need to resolve what we can and set the rest in the balance against what will surely happen if we continue to hesitate. So this is like premature decisions, actions. Often those create problems, but the lack of decision is a decision also. It literally is an incision in consciousness. It like opens up the streams, and one that creates its own set of misfortunes. So Indi is also known as Libra's Bane. So any Libras listening out there? But an indecisive Libra truly is Indi's bane, right? Libras are the balancing. But he would be so relieved if we would just make our decision, our commitments, and actually stick to them. This is like a Post-it note, the list. I guess I need them. But then, he might actually learn to do this for himself. Be a better person, be in a better position to help others, caught up in this energy. So you may get lost or you may feel lost here. But how would learning to make a decision help Indi to make decisions? And then would it really, it's like a spin on it. Then what would he do? How would he better help other beings having problems with decision making or not? Or with the other beings that are having problems causing Indi not to learn to make his own decision? Or are there no people that Indi knows that he can learn from right now so that he may be different? Or, we may just be talking about global change right here, right? The big picture. So, what I was trying to say is that sometimes it's possible to learn from just watching others learn. And he would like to do this as well. Then he might be able to teach the process, or maybe not, at least. I think that's what it means. I'm kind of rambling. But the unity knows that there's plenty of beings who need help with this, myself included. But being that this too is otherworldly, and on the other hand, he may be right to hesitate. He may not have enough information to make an informed decision. And maybe we don't either. So hesitate, take a breath, take a pause while you question, find out more. We never really have real guarantees from the universe about decisions or outcomes, right? We have to trust and have some faith. But caution really is kind of the appropriate thread here, like learn more, get agreements in writing, and if it doesn't feel right, maybe it isn't right. And consider, before you make any promises about it, but once you do make the commitment, do stick to it. So what's interesting I found is like on the etheric highway, which I don't have a picture, being that the structure of consciousness is about learning. It's that gravitational pull, elevated messages, if you will. We're kind of creating a new structure of belief, a new perspective on our life. So you may find that you have a natural sense or a curiosity. I mean, my whole thing is staying curious, right? Question everything. Maybe you have some intrigue for life today, an intuition, door opening. Maybe you're questioning everything, or maybe you're being pulled in so many directions. So really choose the path that your heart feels most attracted to first. So today we are expanding our treasures in the other world, the belief treasures, about what truly is possible infinitely. So maybe you come to realize that you're capable of areas of growth, expansion, abundance, manifestation in your day-to-day life that you previously may not have even been aware of, right? But the key is literally to listen to the singer of the universe, Ecstasies, to what you believe is possible today, rather than to go back in default mode, streaming the mental muddle programming, kind of like Indi, the indecision, right? So this message is to follow our heart, what our heart feels, we believe is going to arrive, a new belief of what is really possible, where spirituality, a personal faith, streaming in, and spirits like expanding beyond our normal comfort zone. So you too may have to face an emotional uncertainty to understand our karmic options, even spiritual ones. But there's always a lesson to be learned about, the highest potential that each and every one of us hold within even our intuitive abilities, our psychic abilities, spiritually, physical, mental, all of it. There's no force uncovered, right? Even our connection to God, universe, the divine. So as we explore our choices within this cosmic soup, you may open the door and level up. What level do you feel you're learning at? I am always reading books, ordering them and otherwise. So as we expand our system of beliefs, our library in the sky, that college that's over there, around our day-to-day life, along with our potentials to manifest, following what we feel may be true, learn it, just opening up to new pathways. Sometimes we have to face an emotional rite of passage in some way. So this means that you may have to come to terms with your feelings about something, ecstasis, in order to open up to a new otherworldly direction. So it's about nourishing and nurturing our way through, being mindful. So what may initially feel very uncomfortable or unfamiliar, and just knowing that we are all capable of doing more. Really getting off the couch, right? I think that's kind of what COVID created, is a lot of couchies. Kind of myself included, not lying. But on the elemental highway, woo, this is funny. We have a very wood-like day. This is a nature day. It's a Yinwood Rabbit. Totally hilarious, right? But not only do we have a lot of wood, but we've got a directional wood frame. So our poor little water dude up there in the corner is like this lone valley, a lone pond. Maybe it's barren. Nah, it's got too many trees. But it's a directional wood frame. So this is the prosperity of all the prosperities today. Water in the corner. I would say water, but not yang water. We need like the rain waters, and fire. Fire would give our day a job, something to do. If this was somebody's chart, and mind you, I don't have the hour, this person could be very lazy. Not really earthy, but very lazy. Friends are very important. The good and the bad friends. But we need to burn away that wood. And that's what gives output. Some job for a wood person is fire. Obviously, I've got a shit ton. And we don't have metal. We have zero metal to trim up our wood, if you've been listening to. So metal is funny in relation to a Yinwood Daymaster and the rabbit. So it's the grass. It's the grass that just keeps growing when you mow the lawn. Different than an arborist trimming the branches of a tree. But our day is very strong. We could use some yin water, but really not a lot. There's so much wood, right? Maybe like a nice mist of rain, I guess. But not a lot. Again, we don't want a bunch of it. And we do need the sun, yang fire, for the warmth. A decent amount. We do have yang fire in the year, but you got to break that free. And we do need a bunch of the metal, yang metal. All metal, actually. No, yang metal. But again, Yinwood is sophisticated. It's those creeping vine flowers and plants. These people have etiquette, refinement. You can count on them. They're really great and gifted at diffusing arguments. They kind of have a spiritual acumen of diplomacy. They're open to creating or making compromises to keep the peace, which is water, the frequency of water. Wood is kindness, being kind. Kindness, metal is courage, water is peace, fire is love, joy, right? Earth is contemplation, happiness. But back to our person here. Our person, these people have amazing survival instincts. So they're just like vines. They continue creeping all the time. So they have this ability to adapt to the changes within their environment. But our day being so strong, like literally, I just realized seriously when I put it all, mapped it just when I put it on the screen, it's very strong. So a plant, right? So a yin wood totally needs yang fire, totally needs the sun, needs some of that rain for some balance. But they have an interesting, like I said, relationship with metal, which is supposed to control them. But the more you know, the more you mow the lawn, the lawn is an endless mow job. It's every week. So in nature, it can be seen as soft, but when under pressure, they literally, just like water, they can overcome any obstacle, again, like an ivy or a vine, because they can spring out. They can spring out of any crack, of any stone, or a tree. If you've ever seen a tree growing out of a rock on the side of the mountain, I have. So they really are, they're tough to control. So of all the master elements, this one here, they are the survivalist. I mean, I bet people on that survival show, I bet the ones that win have this day master because they have the skill for it. So they just have a special way of handling the metal element, which represents the authority. They're excellent lawyers, public defenders. They have good skill at being argumentative. And metal is kind of that, that's what gives them the power, is the metal. They're all different. That's just how this one plays out today. They're not afraid of the law as long as they're innocent, but even if not, they don't really care. So considering the yin wood, they're constantly seeking attention, admiration. They're excellent stage performers. They're elegant, resilient. They have a quick wit, team-spirited. So this would be a total team player person. They're gentle and flexible like the wind. They go with the breeze of the wind, part of their elementals as well. But I think I've named some of these people before. Liza Minnelli, John Travolta, Mick Jagger, to name a few. But being that our day is so strong, we probably need the fire and the metal. The physical, the actions of fire, taking the ideas from nature and putting them into action, fire. And also, our little Indi character, take a breath and a pause when making decisions. I would sit with it for a minute. Don't jump the gun. The sound of the universe, the song of Ekstasis. So being that our Souls Harmonic is online, our divine channel to the universe, I would say, pay attention to signs, have a vision. This is otherworldly learning too. So you may have some spiritual insight and whatnot. Literally stretch your arm up, about right here if you can, up to your 9th energetic center and feel the breeze of that song. And what signs are there? Just open up to higher learning, opening that door. So the moon herself, the goddess, is in the season of the mind right now, adding to the sauce. These are the freshies. These are the thoughts that are fresh that are coming in. So you too may need to be mindful of your emotions. Thoughts and emotions create outcomes when they merge together. So keep your frequency high, your vibe, and really just allow the element of fire to burn away any doubts, feelings of doubts or thoughts that may be holding you back, and really be in your observation station and observe where you may feel less than in any given moment throughout the day. So inspirational thoughts, those are going to alert you. It's like Big Bang inspiration, aha moments, when the time is right to flow on your path or get in the flow. So create your own personal song in your chalice today. It's like the sky and the earth are limitless, and feel into that song of Ecstasies. Bring it down through your personal chalice to your earth star. And I would just do that for 5 minutes randomly throughout the day. Just connect and bring that frequency in. And I would affirm that I am a protege of the universe, believing in those unlimited possibilities or otherworldly ones. And you too may feel the growth spurt of those energies today. I would say fire away. And with that was a chunk. I will, as always, see you on the other side, and just know that Change is on its way. It's like the sigil of transformation has truly arrived. So blessings. Thank you for tuning in for a Musing Monday.